Okay, been a good start to the week. Looking forward to the opportunity to play on primetime, right, Amazon, Thursday night football against a good opponent. So all eyes on Denver and continuing to refine and focus things in the game plan in all three phases to get ready for a good opponent.
Frank, does Jonathan Taylor have a chance to play?
Still unknown at this point. You know, we got a plan if he does play. You know, we'll be ready for that, obviously. Hope he can play, but still no status yet.
How much of that decision is, can you hurt it for the rest of the season and make it worse for a while?
Excuse me?
How much of that decision is, can he hurt this worse?
Oh, yeah.
To keep him out for a lot longer?
I don't think we're in that category, Joel. From what I understand, again, from the discussions I've had, with the doctors and our trainers, that's not a concern at this point. It's an injury that has, he's not ready to go right now, but we'll see if he'll be ready to go on Thursday night.
Right, more than toe or more than ankle?
The ankle.
Ankle sprain.
It's the ankle.
Frank, you've had an opportunity to coach and make primetime games. How big of an opportunity is it for players and also your team in general as you get ready?
Yeah, it's a really good opportunity. We're continuing to, try, like every team in this league, try to, work into the team that we want to be, know we can be. You get time on primetime players. It's a great opportunity. It's such a great league, and we want to show who we are, first and foremost to our own fans and to ourselves, but really to all the sports fans out there. So, and this is a good opportunity for us. Like Denver, everybody knows Denver's a fun place to play. It's a hard place to play. They have a good home crowd there. It's a challenging place to play. So, looking forward to it.
Any update on Julian Blackman and his ankle?
Not at this point. It's probably in a similar category as JT at this point.
Do you anticipate Philip Lindsay being called up just as insurance?
Certainly be a consideration. Again, that would go into the category of, if JT doesn't play, then we'll have that plan. He would definitely be a strong consideration. Glad he's on the roster. Feel very confident. Former Pro Bowl player, 1,000-yard seasons. I'm, really glad he's here.
Frank, will today be more like a walkthrough sort of deal?
Yeah, it'll be a walkthrough just like we did yesterday. It's, about the whole day is like we'll be on the field for an hour and a half, but it really comes down to about, an hour or some of walkthrough. You get a chance to it gives us the opportunity, the way most teams set it up, is the same way. You still get all the reps because normally we have a walkthrough in the morning and then practice, so there's a total number of reps involved in that. So we still get the total number of reps that we want because walkthrough can be pretty efficient. You don't have to worry about wearing guys out so much. So it gives us a good chance to, get through all the plays we need to get to, talk about details, and focus on fundamentals and a mindset on those plays.
Right. You said Shaq won't play Thursday. Obviously, that hit was pretty bloody. How's he doing? Like, did he break a nose?
Yes, yeah, but pretty bad. Bad. I don't know what a bad fracture, but he definitely has a fracture there as well.
So, do you think his absence could linger a little bit due to that specific aspect, separate from the concussion?
We need to do some further testing on that to see, they have to wait for the swelling to go down to get a more accurate feel for if that's going to come into play.
Frank, you talk a lot about positive reinforcement, letting these guys know that they're closer than it may seem on the outside. And a lot of your units have gotten better. I was just curious what the challenge is like with the offensive line, where it just seems like kind of a unique position where we mostly only notice their bad plays and there's some pressure to protecting Matt Ryan. So what do you do with that group specifically to kind of get them kind of in a more, positive state of mind?
Yeah, obviously a very tough-nosed group, not just physically but mentally as well. Offensive linemen know, right? They're never in the spotlight unless things are bad, and so I appreciate it about that group right there is a mentally tough group. We've talked about it. Hey, we know it's not been good enough, right? As a coach and as a player, you want that healthy tension of you want to feel the sting and the pain of it's not good enough, but you also have to be reminded and understand that we have the right guys and we have the right schemes, and we've put this on tape. We've put this on tape over the years. That doesn't mean anything right now. It does mean a little bit that you believe you have confidence that we have the right players, the right schemes, the past successes. It's not like, they're worth nothing in that regard, but it does give you confidence that, okay, we just need to tighten it up a little bit.
With how connected that group is, it feels like, there's even more potential that for, as each guy gets 1% better, they can kind of like lift the group.
No doubt. And I think it draws those guys together, right? It draws, when you go through like what the ups and downs that we've gone through, it draws you closer together. It creates an us against the world mentality that I probably think people in general, people in this room and people in general feel like, hey, when you feel like it's you against the world, that's not the worst thing in the world. That really makes you dig in deep to what your core beliefs are, and probably you'd like to think that we all have a very strong resolve in what we do and how we do it. But sometimes when your back's against the wall, does it become even stronger? Yeah, it does. I mean, I think that's human nature.
Frank, you mentioned the turnovers, which that's something you guys haven't really had to deal with since you've been here. When you break it down, is it just carelessness? Is it situational? What is it?
I do know this, like in the turnovers, the fumbles that we've had, obviously in the pocket with Matt, you just look at his career. Like we all know this is uncharacteristic, right? Every quarterback is going to fumble the ball in the pocket forever. I mean, that's always going to happen. You play enough and it's going to happen. So how do you approach it? Well, it's been uncharacteristic, and it's been uncharacteristic. And he and I talked about it again yesterday for a little bit, and I just reiterated my confidence and our confidence in him. Reiterated, hey, man, I looked over 14 years. This has never been a major issue. So let's talk about how we can tighten it up a little bit, and which I know he's evaluating and always doing. We talk about that together, what our perspective is together on that, along with Marcus and Scott Milanovic and Parks. And, but you don't want to, you want to feel a sense of urgency, like, because we understand that, there's the fumbles that are turnovers and then the fumbles that are lost that end up, stopping drives. They affect you, but we also understand that you don't want to overreact and think that this is, like I said, it's uncharacteristic. So you give confidence, you move on, and we got to get it right.
One thing within compounding it, the defense has got 3 takeaways, which is uncharacteristic. So don't they just sort of play off of each other?
No, it's like the perfect storm in the wrong way, right? And so, we're turning it over more than normal on offense, and we're getting fewer turnovers on defense. So that's not it's not a winning formula. We know that, and we have to change it.
In your history in Denver, do you think altitude comes into play? And I know in a short week, you can't really do much, but is there anything you do to try and prepare for that?
Yeah, good question. No, I mean, I don't think it. I don't think, there was always that mystique about going out there. And I think what we've seen over the years is that it's not that factor that you think it's going to be.
Frank, when you talk about he's got a track record that's uncharacteristic, I'm reminded of, if you listen for lyrics to a song, if you listen for what you think you're going to hear, you're going to hear it. And I'm reminded of Adam Vinatieri had a track record until he didn't. Ryan's 37. What I'm asking is, are you looking at this critically to see if something has changed?
Absolutely. That's a great perspective, and appreciate that perspective, because things can change and do change. And we are looking at it critically. As coaches, he's looking at it critically. And we're talking about things fundamentally and technique-wise, and we're talking about how, it's not just him. We tighten up the protection, which I think we took a step in the right direction. We didn't quite get where we want to get to, but if we continue to tighten up the protection a little bit, that's going to take care of some of it. And then if he tightens it up a little bit with a couple things that he's been thinking about and talking about, what we've been drilling, I think we'll find out, Greg, right? I mean, that's what we're going to find out, because, because when those things happen, there's such big moments in games that, there's no place to hide. right? There's no place to hide. We're not going to sweep this under the table. There's only one or two ways it goes, right? So we either got to clean it up, right? Because if it keeps going on, I mean, we know it doesn't lead to good things.
Frank,
All right, last one here.
you mentioned Shaq, obviously the extent of his injury, but just, he's been through a lot, you know, I know he's eager to get back out there now this happens. Have you had conversations with him? How is he doing with the frustration end of this situation?
Yeah, I've talked with him a fair amount. You know, like, I'm, you know, like, in one respect, like, I just love this guy, man. He's the heart and soul of who we are. Feel terrible for him. He worked so hard at getting back. It means so much to him. It means so much to him. Not just the team's success means so much to him. That's what I've come to appreciate him more and more that he's been here. It's not just about Shaq, the all-pro, greatest linebacker, takeaway machine. It's not just about that. It's about the team. And so from that regard, probably more than anything, I know he's frustrated because he wants to be out there to help the team, and, you know, hopefully he can get healthy fast.
Frank, have you guys considered IR, short-term IR for him just because of things?
You know, I think we'd have to, you know, I think we have to evaluate how this thing works out with his nose and look at the whole concussion thing. And because you got those two things going. And like I said, you know, we got to wait till this swelling goes down, take a closer look at really what's going on in there, and how significant is it, because it was obviously a pretty significant blow.